Alrighty, gamers and gameheads, what is going on? My name is Tanek127 and welcome back to another video. And another year, another day. Let's try this one all over again, shall we? Welcome to my video for Code Vein in 2022. Now, if you've been around this channel for a while, you know that Code Vein has been a big part of this channel in on and off phases. I covered it a bit before launch, covered it a good amount during its launch, and then I took another peek at it again in 2021. And don't worry, no triggering anime booty joke this time, because I saw that even though I thought it was a pretty cool intro, I saw that, you know, there were those few triggered people who were like, oh my god, that's not a good reason to play Code Vein. If you're totally lost on what I'm talking about, go check out my Code Vein in 2021 video. Watch the intro to it and then look at some of the triggered comments. You'll see what I mean. The real ones know what I'm talking about. But anyway, guys, welcome to Code Vein in 2022. Now, the gameplay you are watching here right now is the PlayStation 4 version of Code Vein running on PS5. Last year when I showed Code Vein, it was the Xbox One version running on the Xbox Series S. So I figured, you know, just this year we'd take turns between the two consoles shown on the PlayStation 5 since we did Xbox last year. But you know, it's all the same, especially these next gen consoles. Man, they are so close in graphical power. There's really no need to even compare them all, because the CPU is what's making all the difference. But anyway, enough about the consoles. You want to know about Code Vein. Should you be playing it in 2022? What is Code Vein? That's probably your first question. If you don't know what Code Vein is by now, I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm going to give it to you simple. I'm not going to do some big crazy breakdown and everything, because you're here because of what you've heard. And yes, that's correct. It's anime Dark Souls. It's anime Souls. It is a Souls game with a coat of anime paint on it. That's what Code Vein is. Code Vein is a really, really awesome game. It works the same way, plays the same way, just like a lot of the Souls games. But the one thing I will give Code Vein over a lot of Souls-like titles, and this goes for, you know, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and stuff like that, I do feel like Code Vein has a bit more build variety and stuff like that. Now, compared to Elden Ring, I don't know, because Elden Ring is a whole new level of beast. All right, I'm not going to go that far. I'm still working on Elden Ring. I have yet to complete the full game yet, so I'm not going to say that Code Vein has more build variety than Elden Ring. But compared to some of the previous Souls games, I would definitely say, you know, Code Vein is definitely gives the Souls games a run for some money. Now, the cool thing about Code Vein is it includes all those features that, you know, the Souls games have, with, you know, some of the quality of life improvements. There's a password system. There's simple summoning. You don't have to use a crazy item or anything to summon other players or anything like that in your world. It's easy to play with your friends. You can literally play with friends in Code Vein on the very first mission if you decide to. The character customization in Code Vein is extremely in-depth. I mean, extremely in-depth. I'm talking, I've seen people make characters from different animes all the way down to, you know, to different video game characters. There's a ton you can do with this game's character creation and stuff like that. There's a lot of customization, and not to mention, Bandai released a ton of patches after the game's initial launch, addressing a lot of concerns from the community and stuff like that. You now have the option to take, like, your cloaks off that give you special moves and abilities and stuff like that, so you can get more, you know, in tune with the customization parts of the game and stuff like that. It's literally, you know, like a fashion Souls kind of player's dream. I kid you not, just stuffed in a anime form. Now, where Code Vein seems, you know, to differ from the Souls games, and where, you know, it lacks in some spaces, and I'm gonna be completely honest about this, is in some of its replayability. Now, let me explain. It does have, you know, a new game plus option, so, you know, there's no issue there. The game did get 3 DLCs that came out at different times. However, these DLCs were nowhere near on like a Souls game level of DLCs. They were literally pretty much a lengthy dungeon and a boss with, with each DLC. And each DLC just happened to be named after that boss. So you knew what you were going after. Now don't get me wrong, for an action RPG, it gave you all kinds of new blood codes, spells, different things you use, different weapons, gear, and stuff like that. The DLCs included the works. But, as a guy, who's played like the different Dark Souls 3 expansions and stuff like that, I was just expecting, a bit more. And, especially with the game being, that whole anime Souls and it getting that title on itself, it kind of, made me have higher expectations than I should have. Now, I don't know if that's, if that's my fault for having high expectations and, I don't, or if the game really just should have, gave more meat and potatoes with those DLCs. I'm not quite sure on that. Everybody has their own opinion. I'm not going to dive too far into that one, but that is one thing that I do think Code Vein lacks a little bit, in the area of content. Now, base story wise and everything, it is a pretty long, meaty campaign. There is a lot to do. It's actually a really fun and really good story. There's really cool boss fights and stuff like that. I just think, the DLCs in particular, not the main game, the DLCs in particular were a little lackluster. Now, another thing with Code Vein is, unfortunately, compared to Dark Souls and stuff like that, is there is no PvP. And when you have a game like this with its its build variety, the amount of crazy different spells and combos and just everything you can do in here, you do kind of ask yourself why there is no PvP, because it would just make things that much more interesting. But you can also look at it like, hey, I get it, because there always is that chance you could just run into some very overpowered mage. He puts on a light show, and the next thing you know, you're dead. And you're not dead because, you're less skilled than that guy. It's just he fired that many particle effects at you, and you couldn't see anything. And the particle effects in Code Vein, keep in mind, guys, this is an anime style game. They get wild in here. They get crazy. It does have that MMO level of particle effects in this game. I do want to let you guys know that, which is a cool thing. But like I said, your opinion when it comes to PvP, it can be up and down with that, because I see why they didn't do it, but there's just a part of me that wishes they did do it. But other than that, guys, I think Code Vein is a solid choice for 2022. For what it's worth, I've played it on both Xbox and PlayStation. I never really have trouble finding a companion to play with, and that's even on a basic new game playthrough. So I can only imagine what it's like on like New Game Plus and stuff like that. I do imagine that there's plenty of people out there who still play it, and I honestly hope that Bandai Namco does consider a sequel one day. But anyway, guys, y'all enjoyed today's video, smash that like button. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out, have a good one.